Greetings and salutations. It is good to be with you once again. I welcome you with all my heart. I love you. All is well. Everything is unfolding as it should. There are no mistakes. Everything is in its right place. Just the way it is. Ask yourself the question, what is your purpose for being here today? What is your reason for coming to Satsang? If you have a purpose, you shouldn't be here. Who has a purpose? The ego. The mind. The ego and the mind have lots of reasons for being here. The ego and the mind want to become enlightened, want to become self-realized. What a joke. The personal self can never know self-realization. The ego, the mind, the personal self can never receive moksha. Why? Because they don't exist. There really is no ego. There's no mind. There's no personal self. So if you have a purpose, you're on the wrong track. Life has no purpose. The universe has no purpose. You have no purpose. What is the purpose of water in the mirage? Does it have a purpose? You see a pool of water in the desert, and you think it's real. And then you go for it, you're picking up sand. And so it is with existence. Existence seems so valid, so real, so true. Yet who exists? Have you ever existed? Will you ever exist? What exists? Nothing. When I say nothing, I mean no thing. There is absolutely no thing that has its own existence. The appearance may seem strong, may seem real. The appearance of existence may seem to be valid. And yet in the highest truth, there is no existence. Then you ask me, what is my purpose? What am I doing here? I don't know. I'm just here. I have no idea why I'm here. I have no purpose. I really have nothing to share with you. I'm not looking for name or fame or anything at all. For 40 years I've been running around the country, the world, hiding, and people always find me for some reason. And there goes my peace. So what am I doing here? Who knows? Yet there's no difference between me and you. I'm nothing special. Again, the analogy is a mirror cannot see itself. I'm like a mirror. I cannot see myself, but I see the reflection of the self. The reflection of pure awareness, absolute reality. Consequently, I see you as absolute reality, as pure awareness. I see you as Brahman. This is my reflection. You are also a mirror. And you cannot see yourself. Yet you see your reflection. What do you see? When you look at your fellow man, do you see love, peace, harmony, joy? Or do you see something else? When you understand how this works, you will realize whatever you see is you're saying yourself. You are always saying yourself. You may see yourself as an enlightened being, and you'll see the whole universe as enlightened. Or you may see yourself as a thief, as a bank robber, as a gossip. Whatever you see in others is yourself. There's only one self, and you are that. So, what is the reason for you being here? There should be no reason whatsoever. It's just a happening. It happens by itself. There's a mysterious power in the universe. I like to call it the power that knows the way, which maintains the grass and the clouds and the sky, the trees, the food, the oranges, the wheat, and also appears to maintain us and sustain us. Therefore, you have absolutely nothing to concern yourself about, nothing to worry about, nothing to fear. The whole universe is your friend. Yet, the universe does not exist. Your friend does not even exist. As long as you believe you are the door, that you are the body and the mind, then you'll always be taking some kind of action. You'll always be looking out for yourself. Seeking fame, seeking glory, seeking lust. All of these things are part of the human experience that does not exist. So why am I talking about it? What else can I do? You came here to hear a lecture, a speech. You came here to hear profound words. And that's coming from me. I have absolutely nothing profound to share with you. It's just been my experience that nothing exists. That's it. Yet when I say those words, nothing exists, there is something beyond existence and non-existence. Something immutable, something ineffable. Something that words cannot describe or utter. There's a beauty, a bliss, a joy. And these words are meaningless for themselves. But there's something grand, which is your real nature. Remember, when I tell you do not exist, I am referring to your ego, to your personal self. You are part of a divine plan. As long as you believe you are the body of acceptance. If you must believe in the God Ishvara, who grants you boons and gives you karma, controls the whole universe, and put yourself in Ishvara's hands, meaning surrender completely and totally to the power which knows the way. Give it all up. Hold on to nothing. If you do, you will come to the place in life where you will also give Ishvara up. You will begin to feel, to comprehend, to understand that this Ishvara is an emanation of your mind. In other words, you have created God in your own image. But this is good. There's nothing wrong with this. You should become mad for God. You should become God intoxicated. You can only do this when you give up this world mentally, not physically. You don't have to give anything up physically. The physical will follow the mental. When you mentally become non-attached to person, place, or thing, you will then begin to live a spiritual life. Until then, you're not living any spiritual life whatsoever. Spiritual life means a letting go, a giving up, a release of all the things that have turned you on up to now, all the things that seem important to you, good, bad, in between, and mentally letting go. Well, it doesn't matter to you whether you live in a palace or a hut, whether you have $1 million or 5 cents, whether you're dying of cancer or you're healthy as a horse. It shouldn't make any difference. For after all, to whom does this happen? Not to you, but to I. It is the I thought that experiences all of these things. You don't. You are totally free. Yes, you are. You're totally free. Absolute reality. Your nature is Sat Chit Ananda. You are Nirvana, the ultimate oneness. There's absolutely nothing you have to do to attain this state. You don't have to even wake up. Many times I tell you to wake up because I'm using words. But in reality, to wake up means someone was asleep. Who is there who sleeps? Who is there that is disillusioned? Ignorant. Is there one really who is ignorant? There is no ignorance. If there's no ignorance, there's no enlightenment. Therefore, when you think of words like absolute reality, pure awareness, you're saying to yourself, oh, I wish I could attain these things. This makes you believe you're something else, and you have to attain something else. But in truth, you're never anything, and you'll never be anything, except the good for nothing. You have to stop trying to become something. You have to stop looking to become self-realized, awakened. Just be. Do not be this or that. Be the pure being which you are, without words, without thoughts, without explanations. It has to come from your heart, not from your head. Head knowledge comes and goes, but heart knowledge stays forever. I'm speaking of the spiritual heart on the right side of the chest. Not your physical heart, not chakras, not kundalini. There is a spiritual heart on the right side of your chest that is equivalent to the source of the universe, which I mentioned the other day. There is a central source for this whole universe, and the whole universe spins around the central source. This earth makes a 24,000-year cycle. 12,000 years of enlightenment, 12,000 years of going backwards into the Dark Ages. But the point is, the spiritual heart is equivalent to the source of all creation. And this is on the right side of your chest. It is this that is the pure awareness of the absolute reality of the nirvana. It is within you. It is within you all the time. You merely have to dive in it deeply, go deep, deep inside the spiritual heart. There's a story which clears this up to an extent. There was once a young girl who was a prostitute, and she was born into prostitution, karmically. Her mother was a prostitute before her, her grandmother was a prostitute before her. She was born in this kind of a life, she knew nothing else. One day she was looking out of the window. She looked across the street in front of the supermarket. There was a preacher. He was preaching about God, to repent, to give up sin, telling everyone they're going to go to hell. And he would point to that house of prostitution and say, you see those people in there? They're all sinners. They're all going to burn in hell. Give up your sins. Accept God. He did this day after day after day. And the young prostitute used to look at him and say to herself, oh, I wish I was like him. Why am I going through this life where I am? Oh God, give me the strength to carry on. Whatever you may do for me, I will accept. I accept my lot in life. But please help me, free me from this kind of position. And yet she did her work in prostitution, which she was supposed to do. But in between jobs, she would look out the window. I wish she was a holy person like that man. Now they both got older and older and older. And they both finally died. They both survived. They both appeared before God for judgment. And God looked at the holy man and he said, you're going to hell. And he looked at the girl and he said, you're going to heaven. And the holy man was shocked. He said, God, how can this be? I've preached your name for years and years. I've told people to come to you, to surrender to you. While this girl is nothing but a prostitute, how can she go to heaven and not go to hell? And God smiled and said, my son, you have been preaching for many, many years. But where was your heart? In your heart was lust, greed. Yet you preached to people to change their ways, to become pure. But you were never pure. Only on the outside. You put on a good show. But the so-called prostitute, her karma was to be a prostitute. She really didn't complain. She just prayed for realization, to know why, for the power to continue. She prayed from her heart. and I in our heart listen. This is the reason why you're going down below and she's going up above. So it is with us. We read many books. Many of us have traveled to India, to Jerusalem, to Tibet, to Japan. We've been involved in Zen, yoga, Islam, Judaism, Catholicism, and everything else. But what are we really doing? What are we really searching for? The one you're searching for is already within you. The one you're searching for is not gone any place. The one you've been looking for is right where you are right now. You are that. Look no further. You are the one. You are the one. Yet, many of us, because of karma, are inclined to different paths. Everyone can't be on the same path. It would be boring if everybody in this whole universe, in this whole world, took the same path. So God gives us variety. All paths lead to the same goal. But the two paths that are very important to realize and to understand are the paths of Jnana and Bhakti. The path of knowledge and the path of devotion. In the path of knowledge, you understand I am, that I am. You begin to inquire, who am I? You negate the whole world, your body included, your mind. Neti, not this, not this. You deny everything. And what is left is yourself. The universal self. It's the all-pervading, all absolute reality. You awaken as yourself. The path of Bhakti is much easier for most people. To become a true Bhakta, you simply have to become God intoxicated. How do you do this? You turn to your spiritual heart. And you imagine a beautiful sphere of light in your physical heart. Then you think of your favorite deity, whether it's Krishna, Christ, Muhammad, Moses, whomever it may be, and you see this person in your spiritual heart, in the light, you begin to love this person, to adore this person. You think of this person night and day and night. Until you lose yourself into this person. You can pray to this being. You may pray to this deity. You can laugh from happiness. You can cry from joy. But you have to develop passion. You have to be passionate in your love. And cry out to this God within you. Free me, O Lord, release me. Do with me as you will. But free me. Show me I am not the body. Eat up my ego. Keep praying this way. Keep seeing the picture of the deity in your heart. And keep diving deeper and deeper and deeper. This means that the external world will become totally meaningless to you. It doesn't mean that you will do nothing. Remember, the body that appears to be real came to this plane of existence to do something karmically. So whether you like it or not, your body's going to continue doing something. There will never be a time when you give up doing. You are to understand that you are not the doer. You are not the thinker. You are not the body nor the mind. Yet, the body will go where it has to go, do what it has to do. But it has absolutely nothing to do with you. You have nothing to do with this body. So you have two paths to follow. One or the other. You can follow them both at the same time. As soon as you wake up in the morning, you may say to yourself, who am I? And then see the light in your heart. See the deity in the light. And feel the love that you emanate. Feel the love in the heart. The total love, the total peace, the total joy. Then you can go back to asking yourself, who am I? And try to understand that you are the deity. You are the one that you see. It may appear as if there are two of you right now. You and the deity of your choice. But you understand in reality there's only one, and you are the one. If you continue this form of practice, a little Jnana, a little Bhakti, keep doing one or the other all day long, something will give. Something has to give. You can't practice these things without something giving. And you will become free. Again, this doesn't mean that you shouldn't go anywhere or do anything else. You can watch TV, you can go to a movie, you can go swimming, you can go play golf, you can go bowling. But never forget who you are. That's all. Always remember who you really are. Where you have to go, you're going to go anyway. Remember, everything is preordained, predetermined. Everything that's going to happen to you was already planned before you came into your body. Everything. Even when I move my finger like this. It's all planned, it's all preordained. With all this knowledge, what do you have to worry about? What can you possibly fear? Who can hurt you? Whether you believe you're a body or whether you believe you're something else. You are very well protected by the divine bliss that is the center of your heart. So be happy. You are free. It is time to play Stump the Guru. We have questions. When you come in, please be sure to write down the question you'd like to use as a stumper. Just one answer for everything.
One day one will stump you.
What happens if you get stumped?
We trade places.
Well, that's chill.
Okay, Mary.
Okay, what is a soul? What happens when a person dies?
What is gefilte fish? A soul is the same thing. Or you can say, this is a soul. Take your choice. To whom does a soul exist? Who has a soul? Who made a soul? A soul is a part of the imaginings, part of the mental concepts of reality which doesn't exist. It's so easy just to be yourself, be omnipresent, all-pervading, consciousness, but you want to be a soul. So a soul can be anything that you believe. That's a soul. Whatever you believe it is, that's what it is. Only remember, it's part of your belief system. It has no reality of its own. So a soul is a word that you made up. Something somebody taught you when you were a kid. That you have a soul. And when you die, your soul goes to heaven or someplace like that. The truth is, you can never die, you were never born, there's no soul, you're totally free. Hallelujah.
Include what happens when a person dies?
What's that?
Is that also, it was like two questions. What happens when a person dies?
What happens when a person dies? Nothing. What do you want to happen? Whatever you believe, that's what happens. But in truth, if you practice sadhana, spiritual disciplines, you never have to concern yourself with things like that. Well, there'll never be a time when you have to die. You don't die. Who dies? Somebody doesn't exist? Only the person who never existed dies. What exists can never die because it was never born. And you are that. Therefore, do not confuse yourself with those kind of questions. Soul, death, birth, they're all illusions, they're all imposters. Accept the fact that you are God and be finished with it. In this case.
All right. Please give us some divine inspirations for human beings living with HIV, AIDS, and cancer.
Well, those things are part of the game. As terrible as it may seem, it's part of the human so-called existence. Since the beginning of time, mankind, so to speak, has had calamities. It used to be the Black Plague, leprosy. We can go back in time and find all sorts of diseases. And now we have AIDS and whatever. When you believe you're a human being, the planet has to balance itself out. When there's an overabundance of people on this planet, people are worried that there'll be an overpopulation. This will never happen. For the more mankind prolongs his life, the more there will be diseases to take it away. We can say something like this. There have been approximately 3 billion souls that do not exist that are allocated to this planet. And they come and go. There's a time when war comes, then there's a disease, a famine, an earthquake, and part of the population is wiped out. More than 4 billion. Take or leave a billion. What's a billion souls?
Like your attitude.
So anyway, what will happen, and this sounds terrible to an extent. It's like the millions of people who died in the concentration camps. During the Inquisition, millions of people were killed. People have come, people have gone. Remember, this planet is billions of years old. There have been many civilizations on this planet. Some have surpassed us where we are now. And they were all destroyed, and it starts all over again. So it's disease. There's only one way of clearing the planet. Do not worry. Do not be concerned. Now you may look at me and say, well, he doesn't care because he doesn't have AIDS. But this body has its own disease. It doesn't mean a thing to me. Do not be afraid. That's the thing you must know. Have no fear. You are in good hands. We all think. As long as you have insurance, what are you worried about? No, seriously, all is well. Nothing wants to hurt you. Nothing can hurt you. Take your mind off it. Give your mind to God. Think of God all the time. None of the problem. And you will be safe. There's a love that is taking care of you that is much greater than the AIDS or whatever. This love is yourself. Find it. Look for it. Go for it. It's there. For you at that. And you'll be okay. Have no fear. I can assure you all is well. Next case.
What's the process that helps us to know we're God in Satsang, or that presence of God is in us even though it leaves later?
We've been talking about this for 2 hours. Ask yourself, who am I? Inquire to whom do these problems come? Become passionate for God. See God in the right side of your chest as a source, and dive deep into your chest, into your heart center, deep within where you've never been before. And you do that by letting go of everything and diving deep inside the heart center, into your deity of choice, and be free. Practice those things.
How can the spiritual heart be located in a specific spot in the physical body, since spiritual means non-physical, and since the body is an illusion anyway?
In reality, this is true. But as long as you believe you're a body, there's a spiritual heart. Don't you see? As long as you believe you're human, then you have to have something to work with. So there's a spiritual heart that's presented to you, that you may dive deep within it and become free. But you're saying the truth. In reality, everything is a spiritual heart. But you don't know that, you'd be free already. You would have awakened. Since you have to ask this question, then you have to play with your spiritual heart. When you have reached a sense of maturity, spiritual maturity, then you are the spiritual heart. The leaves are the spiritual heart. The mountains are the spiritual heart. Henry's the spiritual heart. But until you realize that you're not the body, then go for the spiritual heart on the right side of your chest. Thanks.
I don't know how to let go deep inside myself. It's very painful to hold on. Can you speak to me on this? Thank you.
Who doesn't know how to let go? The real you has never held on. The perfect you that is absolute reality has nothing to hold on to. So you have nothing to let go of. Think about this, ponder this. Who has to let go of something? I? Who am I? Who am I? You are not the I. It is the I who asks the question. It is the I that cannot let go. Go beyond the I. Trace the I back to the thought, to the center of the heart. Follow the I back. Let it merge in the soul, which doesn't exist. In the heart. Follow it. Dive inside. This is all done mentally first. Do these things mentally. Imagine it within yourself and make it happen. Then you'll become happy and free.
Is Satsang an expression of, and these are capital letters, as is, or is Satsang as is itself?
As is not. You are. You are the Satsang yourself. As is. It is not this, it is not that. It is isness. Is you or is you ain't my baby. Remember that song? So forget about all this isness. Go beyond isness. Become free and happy and peaceful. We make up all kinds of words. It's like putting ourselves in a dungeon. And we can't get out when the door's always been open to the dungeon. All we have to do is open the door and get out. So we come with all these parables and statements and words. Try to empty your mind totally. Do not add to the mind, empty it. Forget about words and statements and stories. Rather have an empty mind and no mind, and see yourself as being empty, free, happy, divine, which you are anyway.
There's two questions on that. What is understanding?
Understanding is understanding. Understanding is sitting here, listening to me, and then asking a question, what is understanding? What is understanding? Nothing. Who has to understand? Does a light have to understand its brightness? Does the sun have to understand that it shines all the time? Who are you that thinks it does not understand? Realize you are all pervasive, like the sun. And there's absolutely nothing to understand. There's just beingness, consciousness. That is you. Does God have to understand anything? It would be a sorry God if I had to understand things. There's nothing for God to understand, there's nothing for you to understand. Just be. Be happy. Be filled with joy and bliss. Be yourself.
Is waking up always sudden and irreversible?
True awakening is sudden and irreversible. Partial awakening is underly awakening. For instance, in Nirvikalpa Samadhi, this is a person who goes into states of samadhi, states of clarity for a period of time, then comes out again. And is back in the world with all its problems and nonsense. Sahaja Samadhi, on the other hand, is a being who's awakened 24 hours a day. There's no longer any sleep for that person, no longer any going or coming. The person acts like a human being and is always in a state of bliss. So true awakening comes in a flash. It's as if you're in a dark room, tripping over the furniture. Then you turn on the light. The light doesn't come on gradually. It wasn't first very dim, and you can't see, and you feel it's tripping over the furniture, but you're able to see it. And the light gets brighter and brighter. It doesn't work that way. The light goes on, the darkness is dissipated. The darkness never comes back. If it isn't a full awakening, it isn't a real awakening. A real awakening is spontaneously and permanent.
Is it likely that we need to become fairly established in the witness consciousness before going beyond the witness?
Yes and no. It depends who you are. If you want to be a witness, be a witness. It's up to you. You're in control. You're in charge. You can be anything you like. Just know that you're absolute reality, that you're free. If you just can realize that you're free, total freedom, total love, total bliss, then there'll be no reason to be a witness. But if you want to play around with witnessing, by all means do so. You can be the witness. Be the witness of what's going on here today. By being the witness, your mind is in abeyance, and you're witnessing. You're watching without reaction. That's being the witness. You're observing. You're not reacting to anything. You're just looking, watching. Your feelings are on God and the self and reality. But you're witnessing creation in this play. So be whatever you want to be.
The Advaita teaches to transcend the mind and be silent, but the highest Buddhist teachings teach to remain in pure presence, watching thoughts. Is one more quick to realization than the other? Transcending all thoughts directly, or just remaining as pure presence, being aware of thoughts as they arise, but still identifying with pure presence?
Realization is a gift of God. It is God's grace that makes you totally and fully realized. Everything else is just a coming close to God's grace. It brings you close to God's grace. All of your sadhanas, all of the practices that you do, everything you've ever done is to bring you close to God's grace. All of your practices are to release the mind, to give up the mind, to make the mind quiescent. Then you're close to God, what we call God. God's grace becomes part of your being and you become totally free. Do not make your life complicated. Do not make the teaching complicated. Teaching is very simple. It's for a child. All you have to do is look at the world with awe and realize the world is really God in expression. Pray to the God within you. Say, God, this is your world that I see. This is your illusion. This is your Maya. This is all you. Even my body is you. Even my mind is you. My thoughts are you. You are all and I am that. As you passionately learn to love God as yourself, you become free and grace flows, and you become the true self. That's all you have to do.
If you have trouble keeping the mind quiet, is the next best thing to just stay as consciousness, and when the mind arises, just be aware of the mind arising, but yet remaining in the pure presence.
You can ask yourself, to whom does the mind arise? Always question yourself. Question yourself. You question yourself. Who has this mind? Who thinks it has to watch and witness? To whom do these thoughts come? Who has to go through all this trouble? My real nature is already perfect. I am that all ultimate reality. So who has to do all these things? Who has to go through all this? Keep talking to yourself like this. Question yourself. Continuously question yourself. Question yourself. And then you'll run out of questions. And you'll be free. Remember to love yourself, to worship yourself, to pray to yourself, to bow to yourself. For God dwells in you, as you. We have some prasad. Feel free to enjoy. Om Shanti, peace.